what I'll do is go back. We'll just continue down the line. So the main 6 guys have a lot of attention to detail, and one of the things they talked about doing, which I was really surprised to see, but I liked a lot, is this whole idea of a dynamic music system in this game. So they basically want to make it so that the music you hear while you're playing the game has different variables that affect the tracks playing or different things. So on the character select screen here is the first example of them doing that. So you can hear in the background the basic track for the character select. But if you go over to the individual characters, you notice the actual song changes. So for Velvet, you have the sort of sleigh bells and kind of the wintry melody. If we go over to Tianho, you get sort of a more Asianish type melody that overlays on the track. For Oleander, you get this sort of harpsichordish organ type melody. Arizona, you get cowbell and kind of a bit more southern twangish type melody. Paprika, it's kind of a more guitarish melody. And for Palm, you get sort of a plucked string type sound. So the whole idea of dynamic music system is very interesting. I would love to see something like that in other fighting games where, based on things happening in game, or even something as simple as just which characters on screen can affect the background music. I think something like that's got a lot of potential. So we'll go ahead and move on to Tianhuo.
It is my solemn duty to save Phonam.
And she is a type of mythical beast called a Longma, I believe, which is Chinese horse dragon, essentially. And her deal is she is a rushdown aerial character, and I haven't played around with her too much, but I've watched some really interesting high-level play with her as well. She's fast, and she hits hard. So the basic combos are pretty much the same, chaining light, mediums, hards into launchers, and continuing into the air or on the ground. Her different special moves, a fireball forward and light does this overhead kick, which I believe hits as an overhead. The medium version is a rush forward in the air. Sort of reminds me of Cinder from Killer Instinct. Doing it on the ground gets her air into the air and shoots forward. Doing it in the air just shoots her directly forward. Fireball forward and hard is a straight jump into the air. So I believe that can be used to get above the opponent and continue comboing. Look at the combo command list, make sure I'm explaining that right. Oh, I see. The hard version, the volcanic crash, that's an air throw. So let me see if I can demonstrate that here. I need to get Palm into the air before I throw that input. There you go. So if that sort of spinning somersault connects in the air, then she does the air throw and pulls him straight down on the ground. So ideally you'd want to combo someone in the air and then throw it. I'm just not very good at it. A lot of it kind of depends on which moves are carrying the opponent forward, and then you throw the input for the actual special move. I'm just not too great at doing it because I don't play this character that much. Oh, the unique commands, something I didn't really talk about with the last character, but each specific character has certain moves that are unique to them based on certain inputs. So for Tianhuo, she has an anti-air just by hitting forward and A or light attack. So that's... the bite is her regular light attack. forward and light attack is the anti-air, which hits opponents that are jumping at you, essentially. For her magic techniques, those are all different aerial commands. So her bar only has 2 pips on it, her magic meter, and I believe that refills over time. So if I just hit the magic button without any inputs, that's flight mode. So she has the ability to fly in the air and then hitting a different direction with magic flies in different directions. So that was forward, just sort of jump kick. Up and forward goes in an angle. Down and forward goes at a downward angle. And so basically she uses the flight mode to extend or augment her combos in the air. And I don't know if I'll be able to demonstrate that too effectively, but I can give it a try here. Yeah, so doing a combination of light, medium, hard, launcher, and then once the opponent's in the air, adding in the directional input plus the jump kick allows you to sort of mix up your combos, which is kind of neat. A lot of potential for Rushdown with Tianhuo. It's an interesting character, just again one I haven't really played around with too much. And her throw.
Too close. Too close.
Sort of backflip. And throws are done by inputting medium and hard at once.
Too close.
I believe she can use her flight mode to cancel things, although I haven't messed around with it too much. I do know that the whole flight mode animation wasn't there last time I tried this game, so it's kind of cool to see them slowly adding in more to the finished product. Okay, so those are her basic and special moves. For her super attacks, the Men Xiao Ti, which I don't even know if that's even close to how that's pronounced in Chinese. That's all the super inputs are done the same as far as I can tell. They're a fireball forward and 2 attack buttons.
Too close.
So for hers is an aerial kick that drops the opponent straight down. It can be done in the air, so ideally you'd want to throw that at the end of a combo for additional damage. Of course I could just completely screw up the input. That's what it looks like in the air. This character has pretty easy combo potential for juggling people off the ground, or OTG, as they call it. Considering I don't play the character and it's easy to do a combo that complex. The other super that she has is continuation, just like the one we saw in the last character. A downward fireball and back before the Men Xiao Ti concludes will cause that to come out. So let's see if we do that. That's the continuation, and I don't know what that flashing status is. I'm sure it has something to do with their flight mode. I think it allows her to cancel or chain things really briefly before it wears off. that's Tianhuo in a nutshell. Very quick character who can use flight mode to change how she moves or how her combos hit the opponent. Very cool. Wouldn't mind learning this character at some point. I've seen people do some crazy stuff with her online. But we will move on. I don't know how many series of videos I'm going to do for this, but for the start I just want to talk through and introduce the characters, and then we'll sort of see where we go from there.